Hi everyone, it's Vicki from Minerva and welcome to our Fabric Masterclass series. So this video series is designed to complement the Minerva Fabric Guide, which is the ultimate reference guide to learn all about fabrics, especially for dressmaking. So the guide covers everything from understanding the fundamental properties of fabrics through to all about all different fibres and of course, what different fabrics are suitable for making. And in the last chapter or section of the guide, we cover 70 of the most popular base cloths, each of which come with a physical swatch of fabric as well. So you can actually handle the fabrics in the flesh and, get hands-on learning as you work your way through the fabric guide. If you are interested in purchasing a copy of the guide, we do have them in stock now at Minerva and we can ship them out worldwide. So wherever you're watching us from, you can get your hands on a copy of the Minerva Fabric Guide. So in this masterclass video series, myself and Jo, who you'll probably know from the channel, we have filmed 2 videos for each of the base cloths, for each of the 70 base cloths in the Minerva Fabric Guide, and we're going to be working our way through those alphabetically. So in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at flannel fabrics. So in my video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the fabrics, flannel fabrics that we stock here at Minerva, and we'll have a look at the differences between them. And then I've also got a stack of patterns to share with you. So I'll be giving you lots of ideas on the sorts of styles you can make with flannel and also some specific pattern suggestions as well. And then in Jo's video coming to the channel later today, Jo will be guiding you through on how to sew with flannel fabric. And as always with Jo's videos, they're packed full of hints and techniques and tips. There's always something new to learn with sewing, isn't there? And she'll also be sharing some community maker inspiration from the Minerva website as well, so you can see what other people in the Minerva community have made using flannel and hopefully just give you even more inspiration. So let's get stuck in. So as I mentioned, in the last chapter or section of the fabric guide, we cover 70 base cloths, and each base cloth gets its own 2-page spread. So this is the one about flannel fabric. So let's have a chat about what flannel fabric is first, and let me hold out one of these samples that I've got from our range here at Minerva, so we can be having a look at that as we chat through the fabric. There we go. So flannel fabric is a woven type fabric. It's usually made from 100% cotton, but that can sometimes be blended with other fibres, to give slightly different feels. So essentially what flannel fabric is it simply refers to fabrics that are incredibly soft and have a napped or brushed texture on either one or both sides of the fabric. So what happens during that brushing process is that basically a fine metal brush gently rubs against the fabric to raise the fine fibres from the more loosely spun yarns that are used. And that's what gives flannel this very, very soft and very, very cosy feeling texture. Flannel does have a very impressive ability to hold in heat and insulate, yet it can still be, breathable with it, usually being made from 100% cotton, natural fibres, enough to wick moisture away. But I would say that it is most commonly thought of as an autumn-winter type fabric, to wear in the colder months because it is so, the way it will hold in heat is so impressive. So in the terms brushed cotton or flannelette, winceyette, these are all fabrics that come under the umbrella of flannel. So they all share that same key characteristic of warmth, softness, and a fuzzy or a brushed kind of texture. And I've got obviously a few examples to be able to share with you today in the samples that I've pulled out. So that's kind of what flannel is in a nutshell. In the fabric guide we do also talk about weight, opacity, drape, stretch, washing instructions, recommended needles, and a few sewing tips as well. And of course we also talk about what you can make with flannel fabric, which is really what my video is focused on today. So flannel fabrics are ideal for making things like shirts, shirt dresses, pyjamas, sleepwear, because you know they're going to help keep you warm and cosy. But it's also ideal to use as an interlining in outerwear, or as a an underlining for things like structured bodices. Where in perhaps in a structured bodice, or like I say, or in outerwear, if your pattern requires an interlining or an underlining, then this can often be a really good choice and very popular, because it will add a layer of warmth as well at the same time. So yeah, that's often where it's used as well. But in terms of actual styles that you can make, like I say, shirts, shirt dresses, pyjamas, sleepwear, that's where it's really a really popular fabric for. So let's take a look at some of the base cloths that I've pulled out. So this first one is our Minerva Core Range light cotton flannel fabric. It's made from 100% cotton. It is approximately 105 centimetres or 41 inches wide, and the weight of it is 150 GSM, so that's grams per square metre, and that puts it into our light to medium weight category here at Minerva. So this is a really beautiful quality flannel, which is brushed on both sides, though I would say the face of the fabric is even softer and slightly more brushed than the reverse. Only ever so slightly though, it's very soft on both sides. So it feels gorgeous against your skin and gorgeous on the outside as well. And with it being a Minerva Core range, it comes in a whole range of colours as well. And I would say this fabric is most popular for pyjamas and sleepwear, nighties, dressing gowns, all that sort of thing. Just because it's super soft, comes in a range of plain colours. But you could also use this to make more wintry shirts and shirt dresses as well if you wish to. So yeah, that's a really lovely one, and it's one of our best-selling flannel fabrics, is that one. It's a really nice, lighter weight, kind of common weight for flannel fabric, really. Next up we have, so this is our Minerva Core Range medium cotton flannel fabric. So this one is 100% cotton as well. This one comes in 4 different like pastel colourways. It's approximately 147 centimetres wide or 57 inches, and this one is 185 grams per square metre. So that puts it into our medium weight category. So the last one that I showed you, that was 150 grams per square metre, light to medium weight. This one is 185, which is medium weight. So with this one, it is very similar to the last fabric, in that it has that lovely cosy feel, with that brushed texture on both the back and the front of the fabric. It's just heavier in weight. So if you were making, pyjamas, for example, or a dressing gown, if you just know you want something really warm and cosy, this will keep you even warmer than the other flannel. But yeah, really beautifully soft as well. I mean, they just feel amazing to these fabrics. And then the next fabric I've got to show you, so this is our Minerva Core Range heavy cotton flannel. So this one just comes in white and ivory. It's 100% cotton, approximately 147 centimetres or 57 inches wide, and this one is a whopping 360 grams per square metre. So we've actually doubled the weight from the last fabric, and that puts it into our heavyweight category here at Minerva. So with this one, I mean, you can really feel the weight difference on this fabric. It's so incredibly, soft, cosy, brushed, and heavy with it. So this one is the only fabric in the samples that I'm going to be sharing with you today. I think the only flannel at Minerva actually we have that is anywhere near this kind of weight, which does make it, suitable for different sorts of things. I would say that's probably too heavy for a shirt, probably too heavy for pyjamas, I would say. But if you were making, say, a dressing gown or something like that, or maybe more of a shacket come jacket rather than a shirt, then this could be a really lovely weight for that. But also, this one is incredibly popular for things like, interlining in jackets or underlining, where you really want something very kind of thick, heavy, cosy, warm, that's going to add warmth to a garment. So, you know, if you were making a jacket that, or sorry, a coat rather, that was, you know, you wanted it for the winter months, and you know the whole purpose of this coat was to be a really warm layer that's going to keep you cold, going to keep you warm when it's freezing outside. And if that pattern requires an interlining or an underlining, then yeah, this is very often where that comes in, because that is going to add so much warmth to that garment in that layer. So that's that one. So the next one I've got is actually, now this is just the same fabric as the first one that I showed you, but this is an extra wide version. So you will notice that first fabric was, you know, narrower in width. So this one, this just comes in white and cream, and this is our Minerva Core Range extra wide light cotton flannel. So it's the same weight and everything, but it's 146 centimetres or 57 inches wide. So like I say, it's basically, it's the exact same fabric, but in a wider width, and it just comes in white and cream. So I just thought I'd mention that, just in case, you know, sometimes it's handy to have a wider option, isn't it, depending on what you're making. So there, I would say the kind of the basics in the flannels category. You know, they're all plains, basically very similar type of fabric, but all different weights, so for all different uses. And then the next fabrics I've got are, I guess, a little bit more fun, and you know, there's just, yeah, something more to them because they're prints and different patterns. So the first one I've got, this is actually from our Minerva exclusive collection. So this is a really beautiful, lovely weight flannel. It's so soft, so cosy. It has that gorgeous softness on both the back and the front again, so it just feels so luxurious, and it's just so cosy. It's so soft, it's beautiful. So this particular design is called Surreal Spots. I love this print, but you have, you know, hundreds and hundreds of different prints available on this base cloth on the Minerva website. And this is called, so our Minerva exclusive brushed cotton flannel. It's made from 100% cotton. It's approximately 160 grams per square metre, which puts it into our medium weight category, and it's approximately 146 centimetres or 57 inches wide. And it's just, yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. So soft, so cosy, and yeah, I think for probably all the patterns that I'm going to show you, probably all of them will be absolutely suitable to this fabric. It's that nice medium weight, not too thick and bulky, but you know, it's absolutely got that soft, cosy, fuzzy sort of texture of flannel. Yeah, just absolutely gorgeous. The next fabric I've got, so we're going a little bit different now. So this one is called our Minerva Core Range brushed cotton flannel. It's 100% cotton, 144 centimetres or 56 inches wide approximately, and this one is just 134 grams per square metre, so that puts it into our light to medium weight category, and it's actually the lightest one yet. So this is more venturing on a brushed cotton, which is, the generally brushed cottons are, you know, finer and lighter than what you would think of as a winceyette or a flannelette. And you can tell that with this fabric. So if I hold this up for you, can you see how much more like fluidity and movement this fabric has got? And that's because, you know, it is less brushed, less textured, less, you know, it's not as thick, it's a finer fabric, and it's a lighter in weight fabric as well. So all that together just gives the fabric more movement. But it still has that brush texture, definitely more brushed on the face rather than on the reverse, but it's still super soft on the reverse as well, so it feels beautiful against your skin. And this range actually comes in a whole loads and loads of different colours, all of slightly different check designs. So yeah, it's a really kind of a lovely classic, but obviously something just different to a plain fabric. And this one is really popular for making shirts, pyjamas as well, but also things like dresses as well. You know, for when you're making something for the more, you know, autumn, wintry, colder months. You know, it's got a similar sort of handle to, you know, other cotton fabrics, but it's just so much softer with that brushed, you know, flannel textured surface. And then the next one I've got, so this is called our Minerva Core Range Brushed Cotton, 100% cotton. It's approximately 150 centimetres or 59 inches wide, and this one is 125 grams per square metre. Again, that puts it in our light to medium weight category, but again, you know, we're going even lighter in weight again with this one. So this one again is definitely more in the brushed cotton territory rather than the flannel, winceyette, flannelette, which are the ones, you know, that are double-sided with the, you know, the texture and the Cosy sort of brush texture. So this one, you know, just has a much more subtle brushed surface texture. You know, it doesn't look very fuzzy, but you can see, you know, if you compare that to say like a cotton poplin, for example, then you can then tell the difference. You know, this does definitely have a brushed surface. It's just not so exaggerated as those first ones that I showed you. And this, yeah, is a really lovely range. Same with the last one. They're both yarn dyed woven checks, so the check isn't printed on, it's actually woven into the fabric, so you know it's always true to grain. Yeah, just really beautiful quality. And this one again comes in a whole colour range of different checks, so you've loads to choose from. And again, I would say this one is absolutely perfect for shirts, shirt dresses, pyjamas. You know, light, obviously they're going to make a lighter, less warm pyjama than those really sort of cosy flannels I showed you at the beginning. But you know, if you're someone that needs the extra, you really wants a warm pair of pyjamas, then the flannels will be perfect. If you're somebody that you know, that will just make you too hot, you want something a little bit more breathable and just not as thick and cosy, you know, it's not going to make you as hot, then the brushed cottons will be lovely choices for you, because you've still got that softness, but just not the thickness the same with this fabric. And yeah, really beautiful. And again, you can see that movement in that fabric by comparison, and that's, you know, because it's not as thick, not as textured, and lighter in weight. And then the last fabric I've got to share with you, so this one is actually a bit of a wild card. It's technically not flannel, but I wanted to include it in today's video because it does share a lot of the same properties, and it's actually a knit fabric. So this one is our Minerva Core Range Flannelette Fine Fleece Stretch Knit Fabric. So it's technically a fleece, and I will feature it in our fleece video that's coming up. But you know, we call this a flannelette fine fleece. So it really kind of sits somewhere between flannel and fleece fabric. It's made from 89% polyester and 11% spandex. And again, you know, that's uncommon for a fleece. For a flannel. Flannels generally are, you know, cotton or cotton based. This one is 270 grams per square metre. So that puts it in our medium to heavyweight category. And it is a whopping 160 centimetres or 63 inches wide approximately. So let's take a look at it. So if you just looked at this fabric, you know, if you just looked at it off the bowl, you know, you would, I think most people would kind of see what I mean with it, in that it has that soft brushed texture, coziness, all the sort of things you think of with with flannel fabric, but it is somewhere between that and a fleece because it is a knit fabric. It's got lots of stretch, especially across the width, but it is very fine for a fleece fabric, and definitely the surface texture of it is more in line with a flannel than a typical fleece. So yeah, it's a very unusual fabric, and I think it's absolutely fabulous. If you were wanting to make, again, very warm pyjamas, and if you're somebody that loves the comfort from a knit fabric, then this could be absolutely perfect for you. I also think for dressing gowns or for children's kind of clothes, this will be absolutely great as well. So really the main difference with this one is, you know, you've still got the soft brushed cosy texture, but it's on a knit fabric that gives you that stretch and comfort from the stretch as well. So yeah, just thought I'd throw that one in, just as an interesting kind of alternative to the more, you know, traditional typical flannel fabrics. So that's all the fabrics I've got to share with you. So now let's take a look at some patterns. So I've got quite a selection of patterns, and I've really tried to sort of include, you know, lots of different styles. You know, I know I've mentioned pyjamas and shirts a lot, and that is what I would say flannel is most popular for, but you can make other things with it as well. So I've got some shirts and pyjamas included in here, but I've got a few other things as well, just to give you some ideas. So let's jump in and we'll insert some images as we go through the patterns so you can see them as I'm chatting about them. So first of all, I've got some pyjama patterns out, and the first one I wanted to include was the classic Carolyn pyjamas from Closet Core Patterns. So as it says on the pattern here, it's designed for chic lounging. The Carolyn pyjamas are thoughtfully tailored and supremely comfortable. So these pyjamas do have lots of details on them. They feature a classic notched collar, a curved hem, a breast pocket with 3 different sleeve options, and then for you know, the bottoms, you've got a straight-legged pant that you can make with or without a cuff, or you've got a cuffed short option as well. So yeah, just lots and lots of different options in that pattern. But if you want a classic pyjama pattern, that would be absolutely fabulous. And I would say in any of the flannel fabrics really, maybe apart from the knit one, because this is designed for a woven, is this pattern, and perhaps not the heaviest flannel. I think that would be, personally, that would be too heavy for me for pyjamas, but any of the light to medium weight ones would be fabulous. Next up I've got, so for anyone that's new to sewing, or maybe new to sewing flannel and you just want a quick and easy pyjama bottom pattern, then we have the Tilling the Buttons Jamie pattern. And this actually comes with a free video tutorial as well that guides you through making, so it's perfect for beginners. But this pattern, yeah, so you get included a long, you know, trouser length pyjama bottom pattern, and also cute little shorts as well. They just have an elasticated waist, there's a drawstring option as well, and yeah, it's just a super simple pattern. Again, with that one you could use any of the flannels. Again, I'd probably say maybe not the knit one and maybe not the very heavy one, but any of the light to medium weight wovens, absolutely fine with that. Next up I've got a dressing gown pattern. So this is Burda 6740, and this is a unisex, classed as a super easy pattern of, you know, a classic kind of dressing gown come robe. You've got different length options. You've also got the option to have a hood or a knot. You've got a tie belt, patch pockets on the front, just a very classic, lovely dressing gown. And with that one, I mean, if you wanted to make a lighter weight dressing gown, then you could use, you know, the brushed cottons that are lighter in weight. But for me, I would probably be choosing one of the medium weight, or even that heavier weight flannel for this one. And I do think the knit flannel that I showed you at the end, the wild card, I think that could be fabulous for this pattern. And you know, obviously I've just pulled out, you know, a handful of, well, a couple of different pyjama and one dressing gown pattern there, but there are loads on the Minerva website. So if that's just not quite the style you're looking for, you know, do check out the pyjama and dressing gown or robe categories on our website, and you've loads of choice there that are just perfect for all the flannels. Next up I've got a loungewear set. So this is the Pipet loungewear set from Common Stitch Patterns, and this is a really lovely kind of oversized, almost like a trapeze style shirt top that's button up, well, a button up top style V-neck line with quite wide cropped short sleeves, and then cute little shorts with an elastic waistband and a little patch pocket on the back. So very simple, a little bit oversized, just great for comfortable, casual loungewear that's just going to feel, you know, really comfortable. So if you want a slightly warmer set for this, then, or just a very cosy set, I think, which obviously suits loungewear really well, then the flannel fabrics will be perfect. I'd be tempted to maybe go more for the brushed cottons on these, but if you wanted a particularly warm set, then the thicker flannels as well would be lovely. I think the Minerva exclusive base cloth in this will be a lovely weight for that one as well. Next, we're going on to shirt patterns. So I've picked out a classic kind of shirt that's a fantastic seller on the Minerva website. Always such a popular pattern, this one, and that is McCall's 6044. It's a very classic men's shirt pattern. Again, we have so many shirt patterns on the website, so there's tons I could have picked out that will be fantastic for flannel fabric. This is just one example, but if you want a women's wear shirt or just something, you know, a little bit of a different style, do take a look at all those shirt patterns on your website as well, and any of them would be fantastic to be made in flannel. And of course it's going to give you a slightly more wintry, cosy, warm kind of shirt than, you know, than if you made it in, say, like a cotton poplin, for example. So yeah, you could make shirts in, you know, anything from the very fine brush cottons through to the Minerva exclusive one is wonderful for shirts, and then right through to the, you know, the heavier brushed flannels as well. I would say probably the very heavy one, I think that's too heavy for a shirt, as I mentioned earlier. So you would want, you know, anything from the light to medium weight ones. Next up, I've got Simplicity 9388, and this is like a shacket style, so almost between a shirt and a jacket, but depending on the fabric you choose, it can land more in shirt territory or more in jacket territory. So this is a really popular pattern for flannels, and it's one of those that if you made it in a lighter weight flannel, it's going to feel more like a shirt, and if you made it in a heavier flannel with, you know, more thickness and that cosy texture, it's going to feel more like a shacket come jacket. So yeah, loads of different, you can practically use, well, any fabric for that pattern. Like I said, I wouldn't necessarily recommend the knit one for this, but any of the woven flannels would be fabulous for it. Then I've got three slightly more unusual patterns for flannel. So these are actually three dresses. Now, dresses aren't necessarily what you would first think of for flannel, but you can use them to make more wintry dresses, and they can have an absolutely gorgeous look to them. So for these, I would be looking at definitely the more light to medium weight flannels. Not anything too heavy, too thick or too cosy. So the brush cottons we looked at, that first light flannel or the Minerva exclusive one would be ideal for these. So first of all, I've got the McCall's 7969, another really popular pattern in the Minerva community. It's like a 4-wrap bodice, a gathered skirt, and then you've got all different sleeve options. Now this one, looking at the pattern, you certainly wouldn't think flannel as, you know, the first choice for this pattern. You know, you'd be thinking probably viscose challis or something like that, something really soft and drapey. But I've actually seen quite a few versions of this pattern now made in flannel, and it looks fabulous. Obviously it makes a much more wintry dress, cosy and warm, which is a very different vibe to that version on the envelope. But you know, there's nothing to stop you using flannel for it. Now, because of the gathers and the ruffles and everything on this style, I would certainly be looking, you know, more towards the thinner end of the flannels. Maybe as far as the Minerva exclusive, but even that one may be a little bit heavy for this dress. I'd probably be tempted to go more for the brush cottons for this one. The next one I've got is Simplicity 8910. This is another one that I was inspired by a maker on the Minerva website who had made this dress in a flannel fabric. Again, it was in the lighter, more brushed cottons, and it was the long sleeve version, you know, to make a proper, you know, a more sort of wintry, autumn cosy kind of dress. But again, you know, it's one of those dresses you'd look at and maybe instantly think, oh yeah, made that in viscose challis or linen or something. But for a more wintry dress, you know, you can really transform that pattern and make a completely different feeling, you know, a completely different dress with a different kind of feel to it if you chose a flannel fabric. And the third dress I've got to show you is the Soul Liberated Hinterland dress. Now I have definitely seen this one a few times made in flannel as well, and yeah, I think this one really suits a flannel. It's a great dress for kind of layering, or it has the, you know, the 3/4 length sleeve options. Yeah, really lovely. So it's got a button-up detail either just on the bodice or down the full front of the dress, and then a gathered skirt detail at the waist. Lovely round deep neckline and those different sleeve options. So yeah, again, for a more wintry, cosy kind of version of this dress, the light to medium weight flannels in that one will be lovely. I do think the Minerva exclusive one will be a lovely weight in that as well. And then the last bunch of patterns I've got to share with you are jacket patterns. So first of all, I've got the Friday Pattern Company Ilford jacket. So this is another one that, you know, if you made it in a lighter weight brushed cotton, it's going to feel like a shirt. If you make it in a heavier flannel fabric, it's going to feel more like a jacket. But yeah, I've seen this one again made up lots of times, this in flannel fabric, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Gives it a really, I think, a relaxed kind of vibe. You know, it's not going to feel like a formal kind of jacket. It's going to have a softness and coziness to it, but a great kind of extra layer to wear when you just need, you know, a little bit of warmth. So yeah, any of the fabrics for that one. Again, but probably not the knit one. I think the knit one is definitely more suited to, you want some patterns that require a knit fabric, or things like a dressing gown, children's wear. And obviously, you know, with this being the video focused on flannel, I've focused more on, you know, patterns for actual woven flannel fabrics. The next pattern I've got, so this is another Friday Pattern Company one, and this is the Pogo Nip Pullover. So this is a layering piece, and as they describe it, perfect for outdoor adventures. So it's an unlined pullover jacket. It's lots of little features on it. So it's got welt pockets, a sport collar, and a snap or a button half front placket. And it is designed for woven or stable knit fabrics. So you can really kind of have fun choosing your fabric on this pattern. But I think it's perfect for flannel fabrics. So I probably, with it being a jacket, I would probably not make it something maybe as light as the brushed cottons. So for this, I would be looking at like the Minerva exclusive weight, or the thicker, you know, maybe the light or the medium weight double-sided flannels. Or you could use that knit fabric that I mentioned as the wild card at the end as well. And all of those are going to be lovely and warm and cosy, you know, just what you want from a pullover jacket, but they're not going to be too thick and bulky either, so it'd be a really nice layering piece. And then the last pattern I've got to share with you, so this is the Minerva exclusive pattern, so one of our own range, and it's the Tracy jacket. So this is a classic, fabulous jacket that has a button up or a snap placket down the front with a shirt style collar, patch pockets on the front. It's got a curved hemline that's slightly lower at the back and higher at the front, and then cuff details on the sleeves. So lots of lovely kind of juicy details on this pattern. And this is another one. Now this is designed for medium to heavyweight fabrics, and I think this one is perfect for the Minerva exclusive flannel. We've actually seen quite a few versions now made up on the website, this pattern in this fabric, and it works absolutely fabulous for it. So that's going to give you almost between like a jacket and a shirt. So it's going to be a very warm, cozy, slightly heavier shirt, or you would think of it as a lighter weight jacket. You could also use this, you know, you could make it, it's not really designed for fabrics as lightweight as the brushed cottons, but there'd be nothing to stop you using that if you wanted a more shirt kind of feel. And then of course, you know, the heavier weight, you know, the medium weight and light to medium weight double-sided brush flannels will be fabulous for it as well. But I think in a flannel, it is going to have a slightly more shirt kind of feel rather than a jacket, and it would just have, you know, the same as in the Ilford, it would have a more relaxed, cozy kind of vibe to it. But you know, that would be absolutely lovely to wear through autumn and winter. So that's all the patterns and all the fabrics that I had to share with you. So I hope you found that really inspiring. Hopefully it's given you loads of ideas on what you can make with this fabric come the, you know, the colder months of the year. Do let me know in the comments below, have you ever sewn with flannel before? I'd love to hear from you. Is it something you'd like to try? Perhaps, you know, you've got a few ideas from today's video, and you know, hopefully I've been able to inspire you there. So just to mention, we will, you know, as always with these videos, if you head to the video on Minerva, we'll tag all the products below, so you can, you know, click through to all the fabrics, the fabric guide itself and the patterns, and you know, you can see all the pricing details, what all different colours these fabrics come in, and just, you know, there's lots of extra information as well. So we've got close-up videos, close-up photos. You'll be able to see what other makers in the Minerva community have been making in them. Yeah, lots and lots of inspiration there as always. We do as well also offer super fast, free, worldwide delivery here at Minerva. So wherever you're watching us from, you know, we can send these patterns and fabrics out to you. That's no problem at all. We do offer a full sample service on all of our fabrics as well. So, you know, if you just want to see it in person first before committing to buy, that's no problem at all. We do sell all our fabrics in increments, so you only need to buy the exact amount you need, so there's no wastage there. And we do offer a thread matching service on all our fabrics as well. So thank you so much for watching today. I really hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to check out Jo's video that's coming to the channel later today, as Jo's going to be doing a deep dive on how to sew with flannel fabric. So yeah, as always with Jo's videos, you know, it's packed full of hints and tips to pick up there. So don't forget to check out that video as well. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed that. Do give us a like if you enjoyed it. Give us a follow. That really helps us out. And yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you next time when we take a look at the next base cloth in the Minerva Fabric Guide.